the incident we had on the 6th of October 2025. That was at 4:30. There was a major incident at the point village outside the Abyei box. And the incident was involving elements from the Unified VIP Protection Force, that's the necessary unified forces, that were deployed in areas outside of our Bay box. And these areas, we have been referring to them as buffer zone area or areas. These are areas basically that are contested by our Bay Special Administrative Area and people from Twitch County of Warab State. They had fought a number of times contesting several villages, while the national government looks for a final solution. The SSPDF decided to deploy security forces to create a buffer zone so that they do not fight. So on the 6th, the unified forces, the VIP protection force, some elements from both components had misunderstanding at the market. It was involving two officers, one from SSPDF, the other one from SPLIO. There are two conflicting versions on the cause of the clashes. One version says it was purely personal misunderstanding between the two officers at the tea place. Mal bisharabu fiu shai, unas bordo bisharabu fiu shisha. They differed, and the first version says it was a large triangle. The two men were reported to be in an affair with one lady. So they started quarreling. One opened fire. The officer from SPLI opened fire on our officer at the rank of captain. He shot him and killed him. And then the bodyguards opened fire on each other. And as a result, the two officers died in the clashes. The clashes started spreading from the market to the main checkpoint and to the main barracks. All in all, a total of 14 servicemen were killed. 6 from SSPDF and 6 from SPLIO and 8 from SSPDF. I have also received a report that one civilian was killed in crossfire. But the written report from our commander indicated only 14 servicemen that were killed. But of course, I had to incorporate this so that you find out from the concerned authority. And the report of one civilian being killed in crossfire was given to me by the commissioner of T County. So you can go and find out. 4 servicemen were wounded. They are currently receiving treatment at Ruai, St. Teresa Hospital. 5 servicemen that were wounded. So based on this report, it appears like the conflict was not politically motivated. And for us to get to the bottom of it, of course, there's need for further investigation to be carried out so that we know, was it a love triangle, which appears to be the case, but I can assure you that it was not politically motivated. And also it is good to underscore that this is the first time for members of the BIP to clash among themselves since the unit was formed in 2019 and since they were graduated. So it's good to register that. I'm moving to Western Equatoria. My briefing on security developments in Western Equatoria will cover Nagero County in the west. On the same day, that was on the 6th of October 2025, we had our security forces that were deployed in Nagero town. They were going about their routine activities. They were waylaid at a place called Nyagwanji and Marendi, outside of Nagero. And as they were going about their movements, each area, some obstacles were created. They were erected by the rebels. And that was basically, they would be They would identify a big tree by the roadside, then cut it, then place it across the road. And once that obstacle is created, they would make an ambush. So as our forces would approach, they would find themselves that they are encountering an obstacle. So their movement would be slowed down. And when their movement is slowed down, that's the point at which they would be attacked. So they were attacked at two places. And we were able to neutralize the attackers. And we were able to eliminate 7 of them. I have the pictures of the trees that were put across the road, how the security forces were trying to remove them. Once I'm done with the briefing, I'll share them with your WhatsApp group, as well put it on my page on my page, the official page that you normally see, so that you know exactly what had happened. After the clashes, I came across a social media post that posted about 5 bodies that were in civilian clothes, and the post was saying those were civilians that were killed in their respective houses by our security forces. I would like to say no, we did not move from barracks to houses, doing house to house search and eliminating civilians. I would like to make it clear that in Western Equatoria, and especially Nagero County, most of SPLIO soldiers that are there do not have uniforms. They are in civilian clothes, and even the ones that were engaging us were clearly in civilian clothes. But of course, they were carrying their arms in their military formation, and the ambush was done professionally. That was an indication that they were SSPDF, SPLA soldiers that were lacking uniforms, but were wearing civilian clothes. I was also told by the area commander that some few livestock were shot and killed in crossfire because the engagement was near the market and there were some livestock at the market. I had wanted to have a picture of that, but it was not possible. So you can counter check. But I was able to get the pictures of the obstacles that I shared with you. We are done with Nagero. Then we move to Mundris. This is an old history or an incident, but it is good also to bring it to your attention that on the 24th of last month, the joint security forces from SPLIO and NAS attacked Kadiba. Kadiba is the headquarters of Mundris County. They overran it, martyred 5 security forces, seized and set on fire a stationary APC that was not functional. They captured it and they burned it. But of course, on the 30th, we were able to recapture the area, and the APC is there. The one that they captured and shown on video. I've also downloaded this picture of the same APC and our security forces that recaptured it. I have the videos and I have pictures. So I'll also post them on your WhatsApp group as well as on my page. APC, yeah. Ahmad Personal Career, the Baba. I'm done with Western Equatoria. So let me come to Central Equatoria, Juba County. That was yesterday. In the morning, there were 2 vehicles, and Arbat Sukar, public passengers there. One of them was ambushed just a few kilometers away from Mugri. Mugri from Juba town center is about 40 kilometers. So that vehicle was ambushed, sprayed with bullets. I've received information that one passenger was killed. Another one was shot and wounded around his head or neck, but survived. We do not know the identity of the attackers. But that area has become a black spot. Most of the time, incidents that we have been registering normally occur at that spot. So security will be beefed up along that section of the road so that the lives are saved. And then the famous incidences in Bor, I'm just revisiting it because it, in one way or the other, involves us. So last month there was an emergency of an armed group. Of course, you heard from the state authorities that they were calling themselves the Red Bells. An explanation was given by the state authorities on incidences that had been registered and the one that involved elements from national security and SSPDF. We have put in place additional security forces to stop further escalation. And I understand that the governor had initiated a dialogue with the leaders of the Red Belt. I do not want to get into why they are existing in Boer Town, because information was sufficiently given by the state authorities. And then the same, there was an emergency of an armed youth called Patriotic Taposa Youth. You remember they had attacked the headquarters of National Security Service. Information was given by the state governor, including the casualties. I'm covering these whole stories to tell you that there were, yes, major incidences involving Kapoita. Kapoita, of course, is a very major town in eastern Equatoria state. Very important town. It was attacked. And the governor said those who attacked it were affiliated to SPLA-IO. So I think that was the first time for an affiliate of SPLA-IO to attack a major town in eastern Equatoria. And likewise, for the capture of Katiba, it was the first time for the rebels in Greater Equatoria or in Central Equatoria to attack and capture a major town, especially headquarters of the county. So these are some of the security incidences that we had registered at the end of last month and in the first week of this month. Others in Juba town got covered by the police spokesperson, especially the major incident that we had around the Young Museum, where some elements from Tiger were shot at and two servicemen were shot and wounded. The culprits were eventually arrested by two. He's being handled by the national, by Tiger. And in the due process, they will let us know the identity of the attackers and the motive. But otherwise, the rest of the country is quiet.